I randomized everything I possibly could in Dark Souls. Enemies, random. Bosses, random. Fog gates, random. Item and key item locations, random. This means literally anything and everything I need to beat the game can be literally anywhere, all while I'm constantly being warped to new areas. My goal is to beat whatever replaces Gwyn in the Kiln of the First Flame and not lose my sanity in the process. It took me a few tries to successfully run all the randomizers together because I lack basic reading skills, but before long I'm in the game and name my character RARXD, so random. I check out the starting classes and decide to go with the giant blacksmith hammer because now is one of the rare times I'll be able to use it without killing my dear friend. Plus it requires less upgrade materials going forward, which is probably a good idea. And then it's time to face the Asylum Gargoyle. Look at that dumbass. I collect my goodies and head through the first random fog gate. Now's a good time to mention that anytime I rest at a bonfire, there's an option to restart at the asylum and basically just traverse from there, in case I get stuck for any reason. But this feels like a great first warp and I'm easily able to make my way to Firelink Shrine. I say hi to the crestfallen warrior who's absolutely dripped out, and then I go join Petrus's cult. Things that merchants sell are also random, so money's on sale today. I pick up all the useless stuff around Firelink Shrine, have a chat with Rickert, and then make my way to the Valley of the Drakes, where I see an old tin can in need of recycling. I thought it would be really funny if I could stagger and then make the Iron Golem fall into the chasm, but I guess he thought it would be really funny too and did it himself. Easy souls, baby. I finally get to the Darkroot Basin only to have Miyazaki spit directly into my face. Who invited this guy to my Darkroot garden party? Also, I forgot to rest. I decided to scale up Havel's tower, and I thought I lost him, but holy shit is he a master of stealth. I finally made it to the Undead Parish, light the bonfire, and go say hi to Andre, who also has money on sale today. I pop all the souls I've collected so far, get my strength and health up for more survivability, grab the Firekeeper soul, and then quickly realize that I'm a dumbass. The area just before the Bell Gargoyles did in fact crash my game twice, but miraculously I was able to progress. Shout out to chip damage and this big guy not being able to get through the door. Also, I have no idea why the rocks are purple. I free Lautrec and then kick him off the edge of Firelink Shrine for the garbage. And then I realized that with these mods, save quitting actually respawns all the enemies. Finally, I approached the fog gate right before the Bell Gargoyles, and this is where I remembered that fog gates are random and I appear in front of a very soft-spoken Gwyn.
Who art thou?
Feeling unready for this encounter so early, I decide to take the plunge and end up in the Duke's Archives prison cell. But this is also when I realized that cutscenes with the randomizer mod are absolutely hilarious. After progressing through the prison, I realized that all the enemies in the large cell could be a problem, but lucky for me, they don't know how to climb. I pulled the lever, but for some reason it turned on the music instead of turning it off. I don't know why. Sometimes there's like a weird thing where like the interactions with the lever don't always line up with what's going on. I don't know if this happens to other people or if it's just me, but most of the time when I pull it, it does like the opposite thing that I wanted. So I pulled it again, got away, climbed the ladder, did some parkour to get the key, and did some parkour to get the key to get out of this horrendous place. I absolutely hate the DLC enemies, and don't get me started on the giant cats. But boy am I lucky I didn't get cursed here, because I have no idea what I'd do about trying to find a purging stone in a randomizer. I finally made it to the Avenue balcony, and it was time to level up and then see what was behind door number 2. Oh great, it's the voluptuous ass of a Bell Gargoyle. The narrow bridge made for a weird gargoyle fight, but it was only one of them and the blacksmith hammer could stagger it every 2 hits, so Bell Gargoyle goes down second try. Should have been the first, but I was just too enamored by those cheeks. Progressing on from the Moonlit Butterfly Fog Gate, I found my first real dead end, so it was time to go to the Asylum and find an alternate route. I was determined to hit the sick McNasty skip from Undeadburg into Lower Undeadburg, but the enemies down there were too much for my tiny pea brain to be able to get around, so I went back to Firelink, looted the graveyard, and headed down to the catacombs. Fun times. When I come here, I usually just let gravity do its magic and go straight for Pinwheel, but this time I nestled into Nito's coffin to see if it was a random warp. And sure enough, we arrive at the painted world of Aramis. Remember when I said it was a good thing I didn't get cursed in the Duke's Archives? Well, surprise, bitch. Looks like I will be playing with half of my health bar until further notice. I go through Pinwheel's fog gate and find another dead end, just a couple goodies from Andre's second cousin. And it's back to traversing the catacombs. Very carefully. Honestly, the last time I went through this place normally was probably on my first playthrough of the game. I kill Oswald the octopus, pull the lever, grab the bonfire, and then talk to my new friend, very trustworthy and good guy that definitely won't push you off a ledge later, Patches. The fog gate beyond the bridge leads to the elevator just after Ornstein and Smo, but lucky for me, it doesn't actually activate until the boss is dead. Nice. After exploring more of the catacombs and finding another Twinkle Sprinkle, it's time to dump some levels and go back to the asylum. And I really want a purging stone. I upgrade my giant blacksmith hammer, get T-posed on by a couple losers, and finally make my way to the Bell Gargoyles arena, and boy are we in for a treat. The more times I see Quelaag in this playthrough, the better. And holy shit, it's Pinwheel as the second gargoyle. I'll tell you what, I'm not joining the Pinwheel Hall of Shame today. Luckily, I can count on Quelaag's molten splooge to take him out almost entirely. But I am also a dumbass who trapped himself in the corner and is very greedy for damage. Oops. But that's a Quelaag kill, not a Pinwheel kill. I quickly realized that fighting Quelaag on a slanted roof is not my favorite thing, and I too can be taken out by her fiery emissions. I used her to take out Pinwheel again and then hid in a corner, and this time it actually worked. Chip and chase, boys. Or like, smack and then run like a little bitch. The fog gate at the end of the arena led to the Dark Moon tomb area and unfortunately another dead end. So it was back through the Darkroot Garden to do some leveling and then to the basin where I had an unfortunate encounter with the Demon Fire Sage. Through the Taurus Demon fog gate was a one-way ticket to Ohio and I immediately got greeted by the locals. I did more looting in the Valley of the Drakes, with style, and I ran right past the Demon Fire Sage this time as it clapped its dummy-thick cheeks in anger. I collected some goodies on the way to Sif's arena, and then holy shit, it's the Priscilla Demon. I killed the dogs, but was distracted by Miyazaki's immaculate character design, and I was disposed of as quickly as I came. I finally killed this pesky crystal lizard, and then upgraded my giant blacksmith hammer to +2, and then back to Firelink Shrine to pick up more shinies. I was also curious if the Asylum bird warp was randomized, and you bet your sweet ass it was. I tried to make my way through the Tomb of the Giants, but in the chaos of it all, I forgot about this little thing called gravity. Back at Firelink Shrine, I thought the Crestfallen Warrior would drop something cool and random, and then I remembered he doesn't drop anything, actually, so rip. I make my way through New Londo Ruins very carefully, because the random assortment of enemies in this area would make even the strongest chosen undead change their loincloth. The next fog gate was very fun and fresh and cool and led to Quelaag's arena where I was faced with a T-posing Taurus demon. Literally no clue why he's not aggro, but we take those, baby. After that intense encounter, I was met with yet another dead end. At least for now. I decided to pivot to Blight Town and collect some fun stuff on my way to Quelaag's fog gate, which actually led me back to the asylum to face the Bell Gargoyle that finally learned how to get into the arena. And I definitely did not almost die to it. I would give my left nut for a purging stone right now. The asylum was full of dead ends, so I homeboned back to the Blighttown Swamp bonfire and made my way to the Great Hollow. I also have probably not been here since my first playthrough of the game, and I completely forgot that Miyazaki didn't actually make an action RPG, he made a precision platformer. I love this game. I carefully made my way through the tree branches and collected a bunch of fun loot on the way, and I definitely made it down in one piece without dying a single time. Also, I don't know why I can never remember where the ladder is. I feel like I see it every time going down, but then when I respawn back at the bonfire, I don't know where the f to go. The fog at the bottom led me to fight the centipede demon in the arena of the Demon Fire Sage. Kind of an easy fight when you don't have to worry about lava everywhere. And then the next fog gate led me to another boss fight with Smo and whatever the that is. Oh boy, it's Quelaag again. Lucky me. As I was beating down Spider Mommy, I realized that I could probably just use the lava again to quickly take out Smo, but it didn't really matter because I'm very good at this video game. And for some reason, I was completely blindsided by the fact that Phase 2 would also be a random boss, and it just so happened to also be Centipede Demon again. Unfortunately for me, the Nemesis system was added to Dark Souls, and the Centipede Demon came back with a vengeance and killed me, which led to what I am officially calling the worst run back in Dark Souls history. But lucky me, I got to do it again, and again, and again, and again. But finally I was back to the boss arena, and Quelaag took out Smo for me, because she's a real one. And this time for Phase 2, I got the 4 kings. The one king. This is by far one of my favorite bosses, and it went down without any trouble. I went to the fog gate at the end of the arena and wound up in Undeadburg post-Taurus Demon, where I was able to say hello to my lover Solaire. And then a bone wheel skeleton felt left out and wanted to say hi, and I got to do the entire run all over again. I find myself perusing the undead merchant's wares, and unfortunately for me, money isn't on sale, but a little twinkle is. I also get the hornet and rusted iron ring, which I don't think I used a single time. I meandered through Undeadburg, picking up some fun stuff along the way, and then made my way into the demon ruins. And I will say, this playthrough is the first time I've actually fought vagrants, which I thought was really cool. I take the elevator up, so I'm able to hit Quelaag's domain from the back, and I can finally ring the first bell of awakening. The fog going to Ceaseless led me to the DLC, where I was face to face with Calimatorius, and after a few smacks I quickly realized that this fight was probably best saved for a later time. With my newfound Hornet Ring, I thought it'd be a good idea to give Gwynsilla another run for his money, but alas, I am horrible at this video game and I deserve every bad thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. It was time to explore new avenues and other fog gates, and lucky for me, this meant being able to traverse the DLC. After my first untimely death, I thought it might be a good idea to take my time through this section and enjoy the game and take out enemies one by one and experience it, and not sprint away from my problems until my stamina bar ran out. And as it turns out, this happened to be one of the more enjoyable areas of the playthrough. That is, until I arrived at the Chasm of the Abyss. You know how many little humanity monsters usually live here? A lot of them. Now take those and make each one a random chuckle from somewhere else in the game, and you have a very miserable experience. And after all that turmoil of getting through the area, Manus' fog gate led me back to the Ornstein and Smo boss arena. I finally mustered up the courage to give the Capra Demon fog gate a go, and it led to the Stray Demon arena that got replaced by the Asylum Demon, or didn't get replaced. Either way, the trigger for this boss fight is the floor breaking, so I wasn't really able to do anything. It was time to give Pergwyn another shot. I was finally able to put him in the snow. That's what you get, old man. And that's how I beat this Dark Souls randomizer. I killed Gwyn, I beat the game. Subscribe for more. And I completely forgot that I was plunging into the Duke's Archives prison. Unfortunately for me, I am a loot goblin and I wanted every single pickup from the area, which wasn't made easy by all the enemies that wanted a piece of my undead asshole. And it wasn't even worth it. I ran through the archives the wrong way this time because I wanted to see what was on the other side of the first Seath Encounter fog gate. Oh goody, Upper Sen's Fortress. I dropped down to get the bonfire for safety and forgot there was another fog gate, so oh boy, we're in New Londo now, but only briefly. I get back to Sen's and pick up a Firekeeper Soul, the Moonlight Greatsword, and Logan's Catalyst for my troubles. Holy shit, it's Gwyn again. The Iron Golem fog gate led me to a dead end at the rafters, but this Black Knight was kind enough to give me directions back home. I go through Sen's the back way and finally find myself face to face with the elevator after Ornstein and Smo, fully activated this time. It's Lord Vessel time, baby. Praise the suns. And then I remembered that I also randomized the Lord Vessel location and felt like crying a little bit. Back in Sen's, I found another fog gate, and this time it took me to the Royal Wood, where I wasn't able to do much, but I did get the Fap Ring. No run is complete without the Fap Ring. Another day, another fog gate, and this time I found myself in the Dark Moon Tomb face to face with Gwynstein? I don't know. He may be a menace when you fight him with Fatty, but on his own he's kind of a pushover and can be staggered easily. I didn't find any notable loot in the tomb besides maybe the Helm of the Wise, but hey, it was nice to have another boss out of the way. I had a chat with Elizabeth and took the Sanctuary Guardian bonfire down to the depths, and after a little exploring found Domhnall of Zena, who had some money on sale but unfortunately no purging stones. I found some more items, learned about Dark Souls jiggle physics, and then headed back to the Royal Wood. Lots of items to pick up around here, and boy oh boy do I hate this little gap that kills me because I forget it exists every time, sometimes twice in the span of 5 minutes, but who's counting? I get absolutely dripped out and make my way back to Sen's Fortress, just looting and killing as I go in desperate hopes that someone drops something of value. We still need to find the Lord Souls and Lord Vessel and that guy. Back to Blighttown, baby. I'm so bad at knowing where the fog gates actually are, and I wasn't keeping track of where any fog gate was leading as I was playing, so lots of back and forth. But eventually I found a fog gate that led to the Crystal Caves, and I really wanted all that twinkling titanite, but I forgot that the enemies in the cave were replaced too, so I think I'll pass. And finally I got to Seath's fog gate that led to Anor Londo. I sheepishly made my way to the giant blacksmith holding his own hammer and asked him to upgrade it. No clue where I got this thing. I opened the main door to the foyer. Is it a foyer? Qualag number 3, baby. Anyway, the rafters section isn't so scary without the archers and demons everywhere, and I finally made it to the second bell. Absolute cinema. And no purging stones from Oswald. It was time to explore the rest that Anor Londo had to offer, and this time heading back to the interior bonfire. And after absolutely styling on a few silver knights, we finally found it. Better than a Lord Soul. Better than the Lord Vessel. That's right. Purging stones. Spoiler alert, this run took me about 15 hours. For 11 of those, I was cursed. Either way, I can finally get rid of it, and Solaire watched me do it. Love that guy.
You really are fond of dividing that better. I think, seriously.
I did a thorough search of Anor Londo, taking out every enemy and leaving no stone unturned. Unfortunately for me, there was nothing great, and I ended up back in the catacombs. Oh wow. More purging stones. It kind of feels like a slap in the face now. I tried to drop down to Vamos, but misjudged the hole in the wall, as if I was on the hit Cartoon Network show, Hole in the Wall. I'm not gonna lie, I only ended up at Vamos due to running and sheer panic, and I have no idea how to get back there, so I backtracked through Blighttown and decided to take another go at the Great Hollow in case I missed anything. I was running out of places that I knew of to check for items, but I remembered seeing something on a precarious looking tree branch after dying a few times the last time I was in the Great Hollow. And would you believe it? The mother Lord Vessel, a sacred relic of the land, the holiest of holy items, on a random tree branch. I said hello to the ambiguously evil snake man, got Vord, and then teleported to the Firelink altar to place the Lord Vessel. Then it was time to very carefully, skillfully, and without any trouble at all, make my way through the Duke's archives the back way in order to get to Anor Londo proper. And when I got there, the Firekeeper was so devastated that I killed Ornstulin that she ended it all. The demon warp took me back to the asylum where I was finally able to talk to Oscar and open the front door. I traded with Snuggly for fun and then took the bird warp from the asylum, which put me face to face with the Grave Lord himself. Nito doesn't look so scary in bright daylight, or in a big arena when he's all by himself. It was pretty easy. GG, buddy. I foolishly decided to pump some levels of intelligence because I found Darkbeat earlier and I thought I was going to be able to use it in like a cheese fashion and one-shot most of the bosses I had left. Not a good idea. And then I was face to face with the Stray Demon, who actually did not get randomized at all, by the way. I got insta-killed more times than I can count. I can't count very high. A little chip damage and many smacks to the ass later, the Stray Demon goes down and joins the other reskins in Miyazaki's Mind Palace. I made my way to the Ceaseless Arena and oh boy, it's Centipede Demon again. I didn't even know this guy had a grab attack. I've never seen this before in my entire life. The rest of the fight went on without a scratch. On me. The demon is dead. Many scratches. It was then time to explore the recently drained demon ruins, but it was clear that I'd need the orange charred ring to get all the loot. The main gate in the demon ruins led to the gaping dragon arena, but funny enough, it was the right boss for the right gate. The gaping demon. The stray gape. I don't know what to call it, but these things only have 3 moves and it goes down without any trouble. After that, I pay a visit to Spider Mommy number 2 and offer her Third of Humanity because I think the shortcut's gonna be a good idea for later on. And then it was time to go back down and find myself in Sif's arena, face to face with Nito. Again. I think I messed up the randomizer settings, I don't know. Once again, it's a pretty easy fight when he doesn't have the help from his undead bone bros. Great Grey Wolf Nito goes down easy peasy. After that dead end, I decided to explore more of Blight Town, collecting stuff as I go and definitely not dying even once. And would you believe it, I found myself a little Lord Soul. Back in the Darkroot Basin, I squared up with the Demon Hydra Sage, whose AI definitely did not break, and got my hands on the Best Crest Shield. I took Sif's Fog Gate down to Capricilla Demon to give her a piece of my mind again, and this time she goes down, fluffy tail and all. I'm sorry, my beloved. And then I talked to Alvina to join the Forest Hunter Covenant in hopes that I'd get a good random item. Nope. I backtracked to bid a fine how do you do to the Dusk of Ulasil and took the DLC warp to Anne Orlando. I'm sure there was nothing important here anyway. Back at Quelaag's sister, I realized that I forgot to open the shortcut before joining Forest Hunters, so I had to donate more humanity to my 8-legged maiden before making my way down to open the door. The sheer amount and variety of enemies in this places make for a grand old time. Even the statues that are usually here that don't move, by the way, are replaced by just the best that FromSoft has to offer. After dying of poison, I found myself traversing the Tomb of the Giants once again. Oh, how I love this place. I fought some upsetting looking creatures, picked up some items, and made my way to Pinwheel's boss arena where I'm fighting, guess who? That's right, Quelaag number 4. I ran into our good friend, very trustworthy and would never push anyone off a ledge ever, Patches, and you'll never guess what he did to me. I pick up some items and deal with Rhea's Discord mods before making my way back to Patches and letting out my inner Canadian. Back at the Undead Parish, Rhea has money on sale as a thank you for saving her, and then she gets poisoned by a rat. So, I wish her well. Back at the Tomb of the Giants, I enter Nito's Fog Gate and make my way into the Bed of Chaos boss arena, where I'm face to face with Calamite. It goes well considering there's not much room in the arena for Mr. Dragon to fly around and be annoying, so it's just a game of stay in the crotch and be the dick until the health bar hits 0. Guess the dragon Calumet, his end. New Londo time! Woo! Woo! Everybody loves New Londo time. I drained the water and entered the Four Kings Fog Gate, and holy shit, it's Manus. Now, I've only ever played the DLC once, so this did not go well. And I'm glad that Manus was at a dead end point and not a boss that I needed to beat in order to progress, because I'd end it all. I took another fog gate in New Londo and it led to Ash Lake, where Sif was replacing the Hydra. You know what? I'll say it. Sif deserved better. Sif deserved so much. Oh look, the orange charge ring. Using my newfound power of Toasty Toes, it was time to explore the lava in Lost Isolate. I'll never get over the fact that the sound of lava in this game might just be the worst thing that's ever hit my eardrums. And holy shit, it's a Lord Soul. I traversed more of the area and completely forgot that this was a pitfall trap because I haven't done Onion Knight's quest since the first time I played this game. But I said hello to a giant rat, tried way too many times to make this jump. Embarrassing. And then fell further into the poisoned water. And would you believe it? The last Lord Soul required to open the kiln. Hold. I do have all 4 Lord Souls at this point. I forget if I've shown everything in footage because it was like 14 hours and I usually edit this after my workday of full-time editing, so I'm a bit delusional. I have all 4. All right, this is only going to be in the video if I didn't actually show all 4, but I have all 4. Okay, and continue. The enemies were happy for me too, but they were expressing their congratulations a little aggressively, so I tried to get away, but another pit. I jump into Framp's hole and then offer my souls to the Lord Vessel to open the door to the kiln of the first flame. And as I ran over the mounds of ash, there was only one thing going through my head. Oh, I hope they didn't randomize the last fog gate. And lo and behold, it's Manus. After quickly getting my salad tossed, I realized that maybe a few extra levels would help me just gain the edge on him, and when I rested at the Lord Vessel, I noticed something. This was a soul farm, baby. Now, I'm not proud of it, but I'm not gonna not use free souls, okay? Sue me! Now, this is where my low IQ shows through, though, because I decided to pump intelligence in hopes of using Dark Bead to cheese Manus and get big damage. And, when I got in there to try it, it's pitiful damage. I mean, good damage, but not one-shot cheese build, I really want to end this 14-hour randomizer run damage. Manus sucks, man. The range on the arm slap, the 7-hit wombo combo, closing the distance faster than I can blink. It's all just a lot, and I'd only ever beaten the DLC once at this point. After a few tries, I decided to mix it up and take some time to explore a bit more. I found myself in the Centipede Demons arena fighting the Demon Fire Sage again, and it just decided to kill itself on the lava because it's very weak to fire damage for some reason. But hey, free Firekeeper soul. I also made my way down to see Vamos again, who sold infinite Twinkling Titanite. Why am I only finding out about this now? Anyway, I bought 40. I went to Anor Londo to visit my good friend and have him upgrade my Black Knight Great Axe to max level. And then I did a little bit of soul farming. Just a little bit. It was finally time to lock in, and I definitely died a few more times. Still more than I'd care to admit, but I was learning, adapting, finding my windows to strike, and dodging attacks from time to time. I also remembered something important. The pendant that you can use to shoo away his dark magic. It took a few tries to get the timing down, and it definitely felt awkward to juggle Estus and having the pendant at the ready, but at the end of the day, when everything mattered, when it's all said and done, I finally put down Manus, Lord of Cinder. This run was absolutely insane, and I think if I did it again, I may just keep key items where they are. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.